That's 2 out of 3. You satisfied?
That's 2 out of 3, but I'm not satisfied.
Pay for the drinks anyway.
Ain't you two ever going to give up? Thanks.
Bruno, anytime Candy admits I'm just a whole lot better than he is, then I'll quit.
Look, I got $5 left from last payday. Let's Indian wrestle once more for the whole thing.
All right, sure.
Which one of you big spenders is going to buy me a drink?
Martha will let you know in just about a minute. Okay, let her rip.
Left-handed, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's the easiest $5 I ever won.
Are you the proprietor?
I guess you could say so. What can I do for you?
I want a job.
Miss, I think you kind of wandered into the wrong place.
No, I didn't. I sing, I dance, I wait on tables.
I'm sorry, we're all full up. Look, miss, this ain't no place for you. Now run along.
Look, mister, I need a job. Bad.
I've got nothing for you. Not a thing.
Find the doctor. I'll bring her over.
Right.
Water for the miss.
Thank you. Go on, eat.
Thank you. I think I've had enough.
Oh, come on. You can eat more than that.
I feel so embarrassed about this.
Why? Because you're hungry?
I guess I just didn't realize how much it cost to travel.
Where were you coming from?
Small town. I don't think you would have heard of it.
Where were you heading?
Joe, let her eat.
We don't have to ask her all these questions.
Thank you both for taking me in this way.
Forget it. Now we gotta find you a place to stay. Hey, what about Mrs. O'Brien? She's got a nice place.
That'd be great.
Oh, I can't let you do that. I don't have any money.
So how are you gonna stop us? Well, there it is. Home sweet home.
Selected clientele.
That's right. You've been selected. Come on.
Oh, my, you poor little thing, you. Would you just leave everything up to Mother O'Brien now? And bless you boys for bringing her here. May I be asking who's paying for this? I'm a poor widow woman, you know. I can't afford to be giving charity.
I'll give you a deposit.
Here. Here's the deposit, and I'll stand good for the rest.
Oh.
Just don't worry about anything. It's gonna work out fine.
Thank you, Candy.
Candy, I hate to rush you, but I think we should get back to the ranch.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, it's the best of care she'll be having here, boys.
You're sure of that, Mrs. O'Brien? Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura, we'll see you soon.
Goodbye, Mrs. Brown.
Bye.
Bye, Candy.
Oh, I wish I were a young girl again. That little Joe Cartwright wouldn't be remaining a bachelor for long, I can tell you that. Not with them good looks and all that money.
Oh, isn't Candy nice?
Him, he's a ranch hand. Now, you take some advice from a woman who's buried 4 husbands. God rest their souls. It's just as easy to fall for a rich one as it is a poor one. Now, you remember that. Come along and I'll show you your room.
Well, I gotta admit one thing. You two can sure get involved.
Well, look, what would you have done?
Exactly what you did.
I'm glad you feel that way, Mr. Cartwright. But she's not looking for handouts. What she really wants is a job.
Yeah, look, that's where we figured you could help.
Well, just a minute now. Don't you think I ought to at least meet this Miss Pollard before I recommend it to anybody?
You won't be disappointed, I promise you that.
I'm sure I won't be. All right. All right, I'll do what I can. But right now, I'm going to go to bed. 5 o'clock comes early.
Good night, Pa.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright. Five o'clock does come early.
Oh, Mr. Cartwright, I don't know what to say. The kind of job I've always dreamed about.
And you're going to be the finest sales lady that Virginia City's ever had.
Oh, little Joe and Candy and now you.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Mrs. Burton needed a clerk. And, well, you seem to fit the ticket. Simple as that.
Thank you.
Ah, you're welcome. Let's have some lunch, huh?
Yeah. Do you like it?
It's just beautiful, Laura.
Mrs. Burton down at the store gave me a discount on it. She said I could pay it out of my weekly salary.
It's beautiful. Oh, there wasn't anything wrong with this, Miss O'Brien. It's just a loose screw.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You know, I feel a bit foolish keeping this in the house, but I'm here alone so much, you know. Now, you young folks run along and have a good time. And, Laura, honey, you be home early. Good, I'm beginning to sound just like I'm your mother.
I'll take real good care of it, don't worry.
I'm sure you will.
Candy, you rented a buggy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you shouldn't spend your money like that.
Special rig for a special girl. Come on. Good afternoon.
Do you realize that you could get me fired standing in the window like
I
that?
thought you'd never get rid of that woman.
Well, she's a good customer.
So am I. Come on.
Would you wait until I get my hat?
Okay. Hurry. Here you go. Okay, Eagle. Let's go.
A little different than it was the first time we were here, isn't it?
Oh, I can't believe how many good things have happened to me in such a short time.
There's more.
Candy, you shouldn't have.
It's your birthday, isn't it?
Oh, I haven't had a birthday cake since I was a little girl.
Well, you have now. Make a wish.
Candy, are you sure all the Cartwrights asked me for supper?
Every one of them. Even me. Come on.
Have a good time now.
Thank you.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Oh, yes?
Passmore is my name.
Well, how do you do, Mr. Passmore? Oh, if it's about a room, I'm sorry I'm all filled up.
I'd like to speak to you about a young girl, Laura Pollard. I wonder if I might step inside.
Well, yes, of course.
Now, I'm not saying that's a lie, but I'm saying you sure do know how to stretch the truth.
I'm telling you, Laura, you better listen. If you find out at the dance, wait and see. He's got 2 left feet.
Laura, don't you believe a word either one of them tell you. They're both big liars. Fact is, come Saturday night, that dance, you're going to find out who the graceful one of the family is.
You gotta be kidding, you, Greg.
Never mind that. Come Saturday night to the dance, Laura. You and I are going to be doing the
Hey,
dance.
Laura, how about a little game of checkers?
Hey, well, what about cards? You like 3?
How about a nice long game of chess? Huh?
Laura and I are going for a walk.
Oh, boy.
Hey, would you say that our world-wise cowhand has been smitten?
Smitten. Well, if he hasn't been, he's doing the best job of pretending I've ever seen.
Joseph, you like to win a game of checkers?
Why not?
It's so beautiful here, Candy.
So are you?
It must be wonderful owning a house like that and living on all this land.
I wouldn't know. I just work here. Or had you forgotten?
Why do you say a thing like that?
Just being silly, I guess. I never owned much in my life. Never had anything to offer a girl.
You know something? I ought to be insulted.
Don't be, please. It's just that when I look at you, Laura.
Don't, Candy. There's so many things about me you don't know.
I don't want to know.
But you should. I'm completely alone, Candy. I don't have any parents.
So am I. And I didn't care much. But now I know it's not right to be alone. You should have someone to share with.
That trail town I came from. I worked in a hotel as a chambermaid. Well, I wasn't ashamed of that.
There's no reason you should be.
I hated that town. Saloons, murders, killings, shootings. I had to get away.
I'm glad you did. I've been in towns like that. A lot of them.
You just can't forget the past.
Yes, you can. My world began when I met you, Laura. No yesterdays. Just today. And a whole lot of tomorrows.
It's getting late. We better go back. Come on. Wonderful time, Candy.
Me too. I'm not very good at this. Laura, there's something I have to show you. Something I want to tell you. Tomorrow, after church, I'll rent a rig. Will you go with me?
Yes, I'll go with you.
See you in the morning. Gonna seem like a year away.
Good night.
A nice day.
I never knew there could be days like this.
Oh, well, it's not over yet either. I've got a surprise for you. Your cousin's here.
My cousin?
Oh, now, don't act so surprised. You should have known somebody'd be worrying about you. Now, you go on into the parlor. I'll leave the two of you alone.
Mrs. O'Brien.
Oh, well, good night, Mr. Passmore. Run along, honey.
What are you doing here?
The season was over, the trail hands all left, and our little town found that it could do without the services of a marshal with my particular talents.
What you promised me. If I left town and came here, I did what you told me.
There, now you see. I'm not as bad as you paint me. I did let you go, didn't I? Just as I've let others go, too. Each with a price on their head the same as you. But sometimes I do like to pay a little visit to someone I may have done a kindness for. Usually they're most anxious to pay me back. If they don't, there's always the reward.
But why me?
You're worth $500 to me, Laura.
I'll pay it. So much a month.
That might work out all right. There are those who pay me a little here, a little there. It all helps, but maybe I will need more.
But you know I don't have any more money. Oh, what do you want with me?
I'm not quite sure just yet. But in the meantime, remember, I am your cousin. Because that is what I told Mrs. O'Brien. Well, I'll be at the hotel. Good night, little cousin.
Yes, I thought it was excellent.
Well, Mr. Cartwright, I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been to meet all you fine people this morning.
Well, it's been a pleasure for us too, Mr. Passmore. Great pleasure.
Mr. Passmore, if it's all right, I did ask Laura if she'd go for a ride with me.
Oh, of course. I can't just drop in here out of nowhere and expect to monopolize every minute of her time. You young people run along.
Thank you, Mr. Passmore.
If you're at all worried about Candy, he's one of the best I can vouch for, Mr. Passmore. You intending to stay for any length of time in Virginia City?
Well, it all depends, Mr. Cartwright. As I told you this morning, when I heard back home that Laura was missing,
Well, of course, I can understand your concern, but let me assure you, she's doing very well here.
I hope she'll be happy, poor child. All alone, me, a bachelor, traveling the way I do. I'm afraid I haven't been much of a parent to her. Well, if you'll excuse me.
Certainly.
You're not yourself today, Laura. Is there something you want to tell me?
No, it's nothing really.
It's your cousin, isn't it?
Why do you say that?
I don't know. This morning, when he was talking to the Cartwrights about himself, about you.
It's the same story I told you, isn't it?
Of course it was. What I meant was, things have been going along smooth and happy here for you. And then someone out of your past shows up. And you can't help remembering a few things you wanted to forget. I know that feeling. It's happened to me.
Thank you for understanding, Candy.
Would you do me one favor? Smile. Come on.
Candy.
Really?
It's a wonder Mr. Cartwright hasn't thrown you out already.
Thought this occurred to him. Come on. Come on, Pokey. I want to show you something. Look at that, Laura. Been like a whole new world to me. Family. Kindness. Country like this. Sit down. I had a dream about this place the first time I saw it.
Tell me about it.
I never told anyone before.
Why haven't you?
Maybe I was afraid somebody had laughed. Old Candy, the drifter.
I won't laugh, Candy.
I want a home, Laura. There's a knoll not far from here where I built a cabin. From up there, you can see forever. Down in front, there's a canyon. That's where the dogwood blooms in the spring. That's a funny dream for somebody like me, isn't it?
No, Candy. It's a beautiful dream. Don't ever stop dreaming. Because it'll come true. I know it will.
I want it to come true for us. I guess I came at you too fast. Maybe I said too much all at once.
No. No matter what happens between us, don't ever think that.
Maybe I should have just told you I love you.
Come in here. I want to talk to you.
Where's Mrs. O'Brien?
She's out. I said, come in here. Well, that was a very tender little scene out there. I watched it through the window.
Why can't you leave me alone?
Because you're worth $500 to me.
I said I'd pay it.
Yes, you did. But that would take an awfully long time, wouldn't it? Won't you sit down, my dear?
I have nothing to say.
I invited you to sit down, huh? Now, we'll have our little talk, huh? When I came here, I expected that you'd be worth $500 to me. But that was before I met the Cartwrights and before I talked with Mrs. O'Brien.
You leave the Cartwrights out of this.
I'll make that decision.
Everything was going so wonderful.
It could go a lot better if you would just listen to me.
I listened to you once, and it was the biggest mistake of my life.
Was it now? You could have been hanged for murder. You still could be.
I said I'd pay you. What more can I do?
Quite a bit more. But you're not going about it the right way. You're playing up to the wrong man.
What are you talking about?
Mrs. O'Brien is a very interesting person. There's not a great deal that she doesn't know about this town. And one of her favorite subjects is the Cartwrights.
I said leave the Cartwrights out of this.
This Candy. According to Mrs. O'Brien, he's nothing but a cowboy. Not worth a penny to us. But if you were Mrs. Joe Cartwright...
You must be insane. Little Joe doesn't care anything about me.
Mrs. O'Brien tells me he's quite a ladies' man.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
I expect you'll do just about anything I tell you, won't you now, huh? This Candy, this plain little cowboy. Well, I've shot cowboys in the back before, and I can certainly do it again. Are you sure you don't want to listen to me?
I'll go back to Trail City first. I'll tell them the truth. That man dragged me into the room. He was drunk. He was going to kill me.
Then you shouldn't have robbed him afterward, should you? He was a cattle buyer. Everyone in town knew he had a lot of money. Yet when I found the body, there wasn't a penny on it.
I didn't touch his money. I was just trying to protect myself. You robbed him. You robbed a dead man.
You'd have a lot of trouble proving that now, wouldn't you? Let's talk about little Joe Cartwright. I've just decided you're going to marry him. Come on, I'll fill you in on the details.
I really feel kind of sorry for you fellas. You just don't live right. There you are, sweating over those horseshoes, and you got to work with them mean old horses. Now, me, all I got to do is take a little grain into town, and I got the rest of the day off. Got plenty of time to have a couple of cold beers.
You better enjoy it while you can, little brother. Somebody's going to have to put them shoes on them horses.
Yeah, well, I'll worry about that when the time comes.
That'll be a whole lot sooner than that. I want you back here by noon.
What do you mean by noon? I thought you told me I had the whole day then.
By noon. Boss, how's the new hand working out?
You mean Candy here?
Oh, is that who it is? It's such a long time since I've seen him, I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, looks like him. I think that's who it is.
You know, I'd like to keep him around. He's a pretty good worker. And I think I figured out a way how. Joseph?
Oh, did you change your mind about me staying in town?
Never mind that. There's a distracting influence in town that's taken up a whole lot of Candy's time. Now, I've been giving a lot of thought, and I think I've figured out a way to keep Candy out of here where the work is. We're going to have a picnic lunch. I've asked some of the neighbors to drop by a little later. Mrs. Burton is giving Laura the afternoon off, so I want you to drop by and pick her up.
I sure will, Pa. That's kind of a break for me. I haven't had a chance to be alone with Laura since she got here.
Joe. This time it's different. We're not playing games, not this time.
Don't you think I know that, old buddy? Don't worry, I'll bring your girl in. what's the matter? You haven't said a word to me all the way out here. What's wrong?
There's something I have to tell you. I hope you'll understand.
Go ahead.
Candy thinks I'm in love with him.
Well, I guess he does. I kind of had the same idea myself.
But it's wrong. I don't love him. Oh, I like him, of course. And he's good and kind. But I was just trying to be nice, and he misunderstood.
Well, have you talked to Candy about it?
I've tried, but he won't listen. I don't want to hurt him.
You wouldn't say you encouraged him at all, would you?
Oh, no. No. He just misunderstood. You believe me, don't you?
No. No, Laura, I don't believe you for 1 minute. Come on, why don't you tell me what's the matter?
That's enough now. Stop it. Let go. What's all this about? Ask him. All right, what's it about? Let me go. Stay here. Get yourself out of the house and get cleaned up. I'll talk to you later. Come on. Candy! Somebody tell me what this is all about?
I got a hunch I know. Let's go talk to little brother.
Where's little Joe? Oh, now what is this? Don't tell me you had a lover spat on your first date. You know, your cousin told me how you've fallen for him, and I don't blame you a bit. Not with all them good looks and all that money. It's just like I told you. It's as easy to fall for the rich ones as it is the poor ones.
Hi there, horse.
Earl.
Nobody invited you.
Well, let's just say I invited myself there. Candy, you're going to listen to me whether you want to or not.
Listen to what? What a big ladies' man your brother is?
No, I ain't here to defend little Joe. I do, however, believe him. I don't think he has any interest in Laura other than maybe as a friend or maybe the woman you're going to someday be married to.
You're wasting your time, Horace.
No, a fella talking with a friend ain't wasting his time.
I said you're wasting your time.
You know, Candy, if I was in love with a gal, I mean really in love with her, I think I'd want to give her every chance in the world. I'd want to hear her side of the story, too. You know what I mean?
I never want to see her again.
Come on, Candy, that's kid talk. If that were true, then you've been lying about being in love with her all along, hadn't you?
She wouldn't see me anyway.
Yeah, I think she would. If she really loves you, and I think she does. I think she'd want that more than anything in the world. Why don't you go see her?
I want to hear it from you, Laura. That's all.
You misunderstood me. It was only friendship. I never said I'd marry you.
Then answer me one question. I'll get out of your life forever if that's what you want. Do you love little Joe?
No, Candy, I love you. I've always loved you.
Everything's all right.
No, it isn't.
Hey, what's the matter?
I killed a man, Candy. I killed a man and ran.
Tell me about it.
It was in Trail City, the crookedest, most wicked town on the face of this earth. Frank Passmore isn't my cousin. He was the marshal there. He's a hired killer, and even worse than all the others.
He's come here to take you back?
No, that isn't it.
Laura, tell me about the killing.
I was working in the hotel. I was scrubbing the whole floor. The door opened. A man was standing there, cattle buyer. He'd grabbed me and dragged me back in the room with him. He was drunk, staggering drunk. He started to rip my clothes. He was a madman. I was scared. There was a gun on the table. I thought I could scare him off. I don't even remember pulling the trigger. And there he was on the floor, dead.
Laura, that's self-defense. Any jury alive will believe it.
Oh, I know that now, but I didn't. I was so afraid. I stood there with the gun in my hand. And when I looked up, Passmore was standing in the open doorway, just looking at me. That cattle buyer was an important man, the kind of man our town depended on. Passmore said he believed me, but nobody else would. He said I better get out of town and come here. And when things quieted down, he'd tell the truth about what happened. I was afraid, Candy, so afraid. I believed him.
I know.
The only reason he wanted me out of that room was so he could rob that man. He robbed a dead man. I didn't know that then, but I know it now.
Laura, you're gonna have to go back and face it. You're gonna have to go back and tell the truth.
I can't. I'm wanted for robbery and murder. There's a $500 reward on my head.
But you said he wasn't here to take you back.
He wants more than that. He wants me to marry little Joe so that he can blackmail me for the rest of his life.
I'll talk to him. He'll leave you alone or I'll kill him.
Oh, Candy, please don't. He's already planning to shoot you in the back. Please don't give him the
I'm
chance.
not going to let you face this alone, Laura. We'll fight it. Look, I'll tell the Cartwrights. They'll stand behind you. I know they will. Look, I don't want you to move out of this place. Don't budge. Promise me you'll wait for me right here.
I promise.
Hey, I love you.
Laura? Oh, I was just going shopping. Do you want to come with me?
Thank you.
Mrs. O'Brien,
Oh, hello, Mr. Passmore.
I'm afraid that Laura and I have some family matters to talk over.
Oh, well, then I'll just be running along. And Laura, I hope you appreciate how fortunate you are to have a cousin who's so concerned about you.
Mr. Cartwright!
All right, what was he doing here? You left here with Joe Cartwright. Now you came back without him. You trying to pull something, huh?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
You start talking, and I better like what I hear, you understand?
And that's the whole story, Mr. Cartwright, just the way Laura told me. And I believe it.
I believe it, too. Candy, you get back to Laura and let her out of your sight. I'll go over to see Roy and we'll join you in a few minutes.
Joe.
Forget it.
You can ruin my life if you want to. You already have. But you can't ruin the life of the Cartwrights or Candy.
And just how do you figure on changing all
I
that?
told Candy everything. He's telling the Cartwrights and they're going to help me. I'm going back to stand trial.
But you realize that you murdered a man and you proved your guilt by running away and then you robbed him?
You can't frighten me anymore. You can't.
You don't think you're gonna scare me with that, do you?
Come near me.
Let go! Let go!
Laura.
Candy, go away.
Yes.
Candy.
Yes.
Go away.
No,
Please.
no.
He's gonna kill you.
Shh, nobody's gonna kill you.
Please.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, don't worry.
Please don't leave me.
I'm not gonna leave you.
Well, we were gonna build a cabin.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the canyon. Where the ferns were and the dog with blooms.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see every bit of it.
No! 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 Or... I had a dream about this place the first time I saw it.
Tell me about it.
There's a knoll not far from here where I'd build a cabin. From up there, you can see forever. And down in front, there's a canyon. That's where the dogwood blooms in the spring.
Stop dreaming. No matter what happens between us,